Yo guys, what is going on? I'm back again with another video. Today we're talking about the Concacaf Nations League, USA versus Canada. USA are back-to-back champions, and for the first time ever in Concacaf history, there's a team that has won 3 straight Concacaf championships. That is USA, of course, with last year's Nations League, last year's Gold Cup, and this year's Nations League. So hopefully we can make it a four-peat in a few weeks when we kick off in the Gold Cup. But we're not here to talk about the Gold Cup. We are here to talk about the Nations League. These last 2 games USA have played have been incredible. This is the USA I think every USA fan, including myself, expects, because there's so much potential in this squad, as I've said before. But this team looked like they were ready. They were looking for blood. That's what they were looking for, and they dominated both games, even in the game against Canada with key players missing like Serginho Dest, Weston McKennie, Miles Robinson had an injury. We had depth, which is something USA usually never has. But we have depth now, and we looked incredible. And I got to give props to BJ Callahan, because he got his opportunity as interim because Anthony Hudson has stepped away because he wasn't being considered for the head position. So he stepped away and he's gone on off somewhere else to manage. BJ Callahan has really stepped in and made this team look the real deal. In just a short period of time as well, this USA team look like killers. They look incredible from front to back. They looked really good. I can only name maybe one player who didn't particularly play well today, and we'll get into that. We're going to talk about some of the players and how USA played and their overall performance, but there's not really too much to complain about. We're champions back-to-back CONCACAF Nations League, as I said before, and Canada didn't have anything. Alphonso Davies was shut off. I didn't understand why they had Buchanan coming off the bench when he provides so much for Canada, especially going forward and out wide, finding tight spaces, good crosses, has good footwork. I didn't understand that, and that's maybe what was a dagger in them, but I don't think USA were being beaten today no matter what because of how good they played. And this is the USA, as I've said in my last video, that needs to compete in these Copa Americas and World Cups in the coming years. And if that USA comes to the Copa America next year and plays like that, we can make a deep run, honestly. But who knows with Greg Berhalter? I mean, with Greg Berhalter coming in, Gio Reyna will probably be on the bench. Joe Scally will be inexperienced. Chris Richards could still be recovering from injury, as Greg Berhalter always says. But enough about Greg Berhalter. If you want to know more of how I feel about Greg Berhalter, I'll leave a link down below in the description. More on the positives today. And we're going to start off from the back and go for Matt Turner. Matt Turner didn't really have too much to do today. He made the saves that he had to make. Nothing really crazy threatening. He caught a lot of things. I mean, that's what you expect with Matt Turner, really. He's a solid goalkeeper, and I fully expect him and want him to be USA's #1 for the Copa America and World Cup. Now, going off to defense, I think Joe Scally was brilliant. I know some people were a little worried with Serginho Dest being out with suspension from the red card against Mexico, that Joe Scally would have a lot to prove, and he only has a handful of appearances for the USA, and he's stepping into a final against Canada, who squashed everybody in World Cup qualifying in CONCACAF. But Joe Scally shut down Alphonso Davies. I barely heard Alphonso Davies' name when he was on the ball. Joe Scally cleaned up everything. And as soon as Alphonso Davies gets the ball, Joe Scally was there. As soon as there was a pass being played down that side, Joe Scally was there. He was brilliant. He even got a little ovation when he got subbed off, which I thought was really nice from the USA fans, crediting his performance as he should, because he was brilliant, as I said. Going on to the center backs with Chris Richards and Walker Zimmerman, they were both fantastic. I really thought both of them did well. They both recovered for each other. Chris Richards got his first ever international goal, and what a game to get it. We seem to be really strong on set pieces when it comes to big games, except for the World Cup, of course, but again, not going to look back into that. Chris Richards with his first goal, and he looked hungry. He looked like he was ready to prove something. He didn't have too much of a chance with Crystal Palace with injuries and just being in and out the team, but when he has played with Crystal Palace in the USA, he's been solid, and he looked like he was ready to prove something. He's playing with confidence. That's the Chris Richards we knew when he was with Bayern Munich, and that's why he got the big move to Crystal Palace, because we know what he's capable of, and that performance right there showed everything you need to know about Chris Richards, and hopefully he'll be a #1 center back, or at least get a lot of minutes going forward from here. Walker Zimmerman, I'm not going to lie, I have a soft spot for Walker Zimmerman. I know he gets a lot of hate, and he made that stupid tackle back in the World Cup against Wales, but I actually think Walker Zimmerman's a really good center back, and I kind of wish he would go across the pond to play somewhere, because I think Walker Zimmerman is definitely capable of maybe playing for a championship club or some sort. But he was really good today. He made some really key tackles, won just about every aerial duel I saw. I don't think he lost any aerial duels. And of course we know Walker Zimmerman is a threat on set pieces, whether defending and going forward. I just thought Walker Zimmerman had a really, really solid game, stepping in for Miles Robertson, who was injured, as I said before. But yeah, he was brilliant today, Walker Zimmerman. I don't really have much to complain about with him. Now, for me, the best defender of the day was our left back, Anthony Robinson. I thought he was the unsung hero. He was brilliant. He was on it. He recovered so much. Had a goal line clearance or close to one. Anytime Canada were in the 6-yard box or about to pull off a shot, Anthony Robinson was there, blocking the shots, clearing the ball. He was brilliant. And we know what he can offer going forward as well, overlapping the wings for the Pulisic's, the Weahs, all that. But defensively today, unsung hero, and you can even argue a man of the match performance from Anthony Robinson, because he was that good today, and deservedly so. And I love Anthony Robinson. We'll see. He'll get a big move in the summer from Fulham, but who knows? I thought Anthony Robinson was brilliant, really. Going on to the midfield now, Yunus Musa was playing as that 6, where you usually see Tyler Adams and even Weston McKennie at times, but Yunus Musa looked really good today. Not too much to complain about. He looked composed, tried to get forward, making tackles, hustling as always, running constantly as you expect from Yunus Musa. I don't really have too much to say about him because, I mean, he just did his job, really. I mean, he was really composed, as I said, but again, nothing to really complain for Yunus Musa. Now, Brenden Aaronson, he's the one I think out of this starting 11 who didn't have a good game. He didn't really provide anything. I mean, creating spaces was hard and wasn't really linking up much with Timothy Weah or Pulisic. Lost the ball a few times. It just wasn't a good game for him. We know what he's capable of. He's coming off a really rough season with Leeds, and he has to grow that confidence back. Hopefully we'll see that next season with Brenden Aaronson, whether he's in the championship with Leeds or moves on somewhere else. But yeah, sorry, Brendan. Now, going on to the man of the match, Gio Reyna. Gio Reyna was brilliant. He only played 45 minutes. He unfortunately had to come off at halftime with a calf injury, but 2 assists. This is the Gio Reyna we want and we know, and this is why we were so upset in the World Cup while he wasn't playing, because we know on a day like today, he's the best player on the team. Even in front of Christian Pulisic, because Gio Reyna, everything was going through Gio Reyna today. He got both assists for both goals, a brilliant corner, and then a nice little through ball for Balogun. Reyna was brilliant. Commentators kept calling him Twinkle Toes because he was dribbling past everybody so much. His link-up play with Timothy Weah, Balogun, and his other midfielders was perfect. Gio Reyna is, I think he has potential to be a world-class player, honestly, and even the best player for USA. I mean, I know a lot of people will say Pulisic, but Gio Reyna has that potential and that talent in him, and we saw that today. He shows up in big games. We've seen it before with the USA. Scored a goal against Mexico last year in the Nations League final and got an assist. 2 assists today in just 45 minutes. Who knows what the score would have been if he played a whole game and didn't get injured. It could have been 3-4, 5-0 as much as he was providing and going forward. But yeah, hopefully the injury is nothing too serious. He has a lot of time to recover now because he's not in the Gold Cup. So hopefully Gio Reyna will get more minutes with Dortmund as well, because he's too good to be keeping on the bench. You hear that, Greg Berhalter? Now, going on to the front line with Timothy Weah, Pulisic, and Balogun, starting off with Timothy Weah. Timothy Weah doing what he does best, running down that wing with speed, trying to find deliveries into the box, whether it was Pulisic or Balogun. Link-up play, as I said with the Reyna before. Timothy Weah looked really solid. Just, as always, he's always very consistent. Very rare you see a Timothy Weah game where he doesn't play well, but I wouldn't say he was great today, but I wouldn't say he was bad. He was just good, which is not a bad thing at all. He's good. Tried to get forward a lot, tried to find those players in the box, but Canada was just marking Balogun and Pulisic as much as they could to make sure they didn't have an easy tap in. But Timothy Weah I thought was brilliant today, and not really much else to say about that. Same with Pulisic. I thought Pulisic was a little quiet today. He tried getting on the ball, but being shut down, tackled, as you expect with Pulisic. As soon as he gets the ball, he gets 3 men marked on him and tackled. Pulisic had a couple of shots, some link-up play, but again, pretty quiet game from Pulisic, but I mean, he's the captain, lifted the trophy, that's all that matters, right? Now, getting into Balogun. I'm so excited to get into Balogun. He's got his first international goal, and what a game to get your first international goal in just your second appearance in a Concacaf Nations League final against Canada. And it was a brilliant goal, by the way. Great ball from Reyna, and he smashed that ball in. He hit it as hard as he could, and the keeper didn't have a chance really. It was a really good goal, but other than the goal, I thought Balogun played well. I mean, he's real. One thing I've noticed in the last 2 games, his link-up play, and when his back is turned to goal, he really knows how to hold off the ball and find other players, or even that half turn, and beats the defender with his footwork. He's brilliant. He is offering so much more than any other striker we've seen for the USA in a long time, despite Ricardo Pepi's really good form. Balogun looked on it today, and I'm so happy he got his first goal because he was so good. And I didn't think he had a bad game against Mexico, if I'm honest with you. He just didn't really get enough chances. But Balogun was brilliant today. And I loved his Instagram post after. He was like, USA soccer fans, I promise you this is just the beginning. I love that so much. And all US soccer fans should too. Because he is going to be the number 9 for a very, very long time. And he's going to score so many goals in important occasions. And I can't wait to see what this USC team does in the future. Even though Berhalter is the manager, I'm really excited because these last 2 games we've seen from USA is the USA that can win in the big games and go in deep runs in tournaments. That was a class tournament, and these 2 games have been absolutely brilliant. And I loved every minute of both games. And you can't really go wrong either because they got a trophy, and that's all that matters. Now, we kick off the Gold Cup in a couple weeks. I will be at one of the Gold Cup games. I'm not going to tell you which one, but I will be there. I will be vlogging it, and it will be a video about it. Anyways, guys, that is all I have for you today. If you liked the video, please make sure you hit that like button. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and what you expect from USA in the Gold Cup in a few weeks. Make sure you watch the last video as well, where I'll talk about Greg Berhalter as well. Subscribe if you haven't already. As of recording, I'm at 90 subscribers. I'm only 10 away from 100, and as I said in my TST video that I will also leave in a description down below, that once I hit 100, I will be giving away a TST hat signed by the former U.S. men's national team player, Jimmy Conrad himself. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.